Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with a quick review of the DJI Mini 2 SE drone. In this video, I'll try and explain why the Mini 2 SE is the ideal drone if you've never flown a drone before and you're looking to get into the hobby, because there's a wide range of different drones available on the market, and a lot of them look really good on a website, and then you get it home and it doesn't fly right and it starts drifting and you get frustrated, and the next thing you know, the drone's up on the shelf. That's not the case with the Mini 2 SE. DJI is a company that's been building drones for almost a decade at this point, and they build some of the most sophisticated drones on the planet, and they've taken that core technology that they've developed over the last decade and shrunk it down into a tiny little foldable drone that's incredibly easy to fly. But it's not just an easy to fly drone, it's a very sophisticated drone with a lot of artificial intelligence built in, a lot of high technology to make sure the connection stays solid with the controller. It's got a beautiful camera on it, it's got a long flight time, and I'm going to get into all of those things in a minute. Now, before I get too deep into the technology, the hobby of flying a drone is one of those things that until you do it, it's hard to explain how much fun you're going to have putting a drone up in the air. Now, for me, it's all about exploring a landscape. If I go out and I walk through the woods, I have a terrestrial view of what's going on in those woods, so I can tell where the trees are, I know where the lake is, I know where the road is. But getting up above those trees and giving me a perspective in that third dimension, looking down over that forest, boy, it's just a breathtaking experience. It's almost like you're in a plane or you're Superman flying over the top of those trees. You can go pretty much anywhere as long as you keep that drone in your visual line of sight, and you can capture some incredibly good pictures from 200, 300 feet in the air and take some beautiful video footage as well. So if you like spending time outdoors and you like technology, especially remote control technology, drones are definitely a hobby you want to look into. And again, the Mini 2 SE is a great way to get started. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the drone, because again, there's a lot of drones on the market, and what you'll find with some of the drones that are around this price range is they look really good until you start flying them, and you realize pretty quickly that they don't really have calibration. So what I mean by that is you'll put the drone up in the air and they'll drift on you, and you'll spend a few minutes with the controller trying to knock off that drift and have it be stable in the air. Then when you're flying, it may start drifting again. The other challenge with a lot of other drones is they're based on basic Wi-Fi connectivity, and Wi-Fi has got a lot of issues because Wi-Fi, it doesn't handle interference well, and there's a lot of things that interfere with Wi-Fi. Home internet connections, microwave ovens, Bluetooth devices. So if you're flying a drone that uses Wi-Fi connectivity, you can't really fly it that far. It's a couple hundred feet at most, and that's fun flying around the backyard. But if you put that up over the woods and it heads out a couple thousand feet, it may just head for the horizon. That's not the case with the Mini 2 SE, because DJI has built a core technology into this, a transmission topology that's based on OcuSync. And OcuSync is sort of a frequency jumping technology that will find a rock solid connection between the drone and the controller. And then if it starts to get noisy, it knows about other frequencies that are clean, and it'll jump to one of those frequencies live while you're flying. So you'll never have a problem where the connection gets lost and the drone takes off for the horizon. Now, if certain things happen on the drone, it's got intelligence built in as well to protect you. So for example, if that connection did break, maybe you shut off the controller or you ran out of power, and all of a sudden the drone doesn't have somebody controlling it, it's going to recognize that. It's going to elevate to whatever height you've got set in the application, turn to face home, fly back to the takeoff point, and land pretty much where it took off. So it's got safety features built in. If something happens with the technology in the drone, maybe the compass gets off, gyroscopes aren't working well, the drone will do the exact same thing. It notices a problem and says, I don't know if I can fly really well, so I'm going to head back for my home point. It'll fly back and land. If the battery gets low because you're not paying attention to the battery levels and you fly it too far, the drone will realize, I need so much battery power to get back to my home point. I've reached that point of no return. I'm taking control and I'm going to fly back and land. So a lot of safety features built in as well. But that transmission technology is absolutely amazing, and that'll guarantee that you'll get up to 10 kilometers of connection between the drone and the controller. Now, like I said a minute ago, you can't fly it that far because you have to keep the drone in your visual line of sight, but knowing you can fly 10 kilometers means you're going to have a rock-solid connection in close. You'll never have to worry about losing connection with your drone. Another thing that's really important is it gives you a feedback from the camera. So while you're flying on your phone or your tablet you've got connected to the controller, you're going to actually see what the drone sees. So you can frame your shots, you get a beautiful view of that lake and make sure you get the footage you need. The camera inside the drone does a phenomenal job of recording as well. It can record video footage at 2.7K or 1080p, both of which are perfectly fine for social media sites, or maybe you're using it to send family pictures from your vacation. So you're going to get some pretty amazing footage out of the drone when it's up in the sky. In a lot of cases, It's almost like you've got a DSLR taped to a balloon that's floating up in the air. It's really that good of an image. So you've got rock solid connection, really good image. Then you're probably wondering how long you can fly. Now, a lot of other drones that are small like this, you may get 5 or 10 or 15 minutes if you're lucky of airtime, which isn't a big deal because you can get extra batteries, land the drone, change the battery, put it back up. But the more time you spend on the ground and coming back to your home point to change out batteries, the less time you've got up in the air. So what DJI did with the Mini 2 SE is they've really taken care of how they use that power. They've built really smart and really powerful batteries. So the Mini 2 SE can fly for up to 31 minutes on a full charge. That's on a single battery. And you can certainly have extra batteries and swap them out, but 31 minutes up in the air is absolutely an amazing amount of time to be up on a single battery, and it gives you plenty of time to go out there and again, explore that forest, fly over the lake, get some beautiful footage, and then come back and land and change out the battery if you need to. The last thing I want to point out are some of the artificial intelligence features that are built into the Mini 2 SE, because that's what makes it really amazing. So for example, if you've never flown a drone before, the first thing you're probably going to worry about is how do I take off? Well, it's a single button takeoff on the drone. Hold the button down, it'll actually take off from its starting point and hover about 4 feet off the ground. It'll stay there until you do something with the joysticks. And then you can push the joystick forward to have it go this way, sideways, you can elevate, you can descend, you can spin around, so a lot of cool things you can do. And I always recommend the first time you fly a drone, fly in a field with trees all around you, so if something goes a little bit wacky, maybe you lose control of your drone or you go a direction you didn't think you'll go, at least it'll hit a tree and land. But fly the drone close to you. Fly it out maybe 10 feet. Come back, see if you can land it, maybe fly to either side, get a feel for how the drone reacts to the controller. And the Mini 2 SE, because of that OcuSync technology, is instantaneous in its response to your joystick movements. So you're gonna have a lot of control. And after you fly for a little bit of time, and I don't mean weeks, I mean a couple of hours, you'll start to develop a relationship with the drone where you know exactly how it's gonna behave when you're flying it. All right, in addition to the single button takeoff, it has all kinds of pre-programmed flight modes built into the drone that you can instigate with the tap of a button or a tap of the screen on your controller. When you open up that application, there's probably 6 different flight patterns that are built in. So with the tap of a button, you can have it fly away from you and elevate. You can have it circle you and keep you in the center of that frame. You can have it fly over top of you. You can have it shoot straight up. So you can capture some pretty incredible footage, literally the first day you're flying the drone without really knowing how to fly it, which is pretty cool. So what I said at the beginning about this being the perfect starter drone for anybody looking to join the hobby, I think all those features really provide a tremendous value in the Mini 2 SE that you won't find in other drones. I've been flying this drone ever since it was released, and believe me, I fly some very sophisticated drones as well, but this is the one that I often recommend if somebody says to me, Rick, I'd like to start flying a drone and getting into the hobby. I always point them towards the Mini 2 SE because it's pretty much got everything you'll want in a drone. Again, at a budget price that's close to some of the other drones on the market that don't provide half the features or functions. And that's all I really had for today. So hopefully you'll get out there and start flying. And again, this is a great choice. I fly it, I like it, and I think you're gonna like it as well. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found value in the clip. Until next time, as always, stay nerdy.